If you don't know me, my current goal is to become a CM, a candidate master, a player which is rated 2000 Elo FIDE points. My rating is 2200 online and I should be around 1900 FIDE, but I started as a 1400, so obviously I need to play a lot of tournaments. In the last 2 tournaments, I gained 100 points, and this is the 3rd tournament that I might play pretty well. I'm playing at Prato and I play 5 games with the time control of 30 minutes plus 30 seconds per move. And we play 5 games in just 1 day, so it's going to be kind of painful and tiring. So let's see what happened. My opponent played knight on f3. Now, if someone plays knight on f3, he's going to play something that regards obviously a d4 opening, but he might also play an English. So it depends. By playing the move knight on f3, you're not going to give me a lot of information, but usually you're not going to play e4. And you're not going to play e4, especially if I play the move d5, because now obviously if you play e4, I just take the pawn. There is actually a move. I mean, you can do that, and that's the Tennyson Gambit. Yeah, that's the Tennyson Gambit. But yeah, I wouldn't really suggest you to play this in a classical tournament, and instead of doing that, my opponent just played c4. c4 trying to get into a sort of an English opening, but by playing c4, you actually allow the move d4. Now, I thought about playing the move d4, and I decided to not do that, because if I play d4, which by the way, is the best move, and I knew that, I knew that, the problem is that, first of all, the best move is b4. b4. I never seen that. And I might also play something like e3. I played this position, if I remember correctly, 2 times online, not even in a tournament, just online. So it's not really clever by me to go into an opening that I don't know at all, into a classical game, because my opponent, I guess, is going to be prepared and is going to destroy me. So instead of doing that, I decided to play more solidly and try to reach a position that I actually know, and for this reason I decided to play e6. Now the point of e6 is that, first of all, if you take, just take, I have 0 problems, I can play c6, maybe c5, and develop pieces, no problem at all. And if instead of doing that, for example, you play d4, I was going to play just c6, getting into a semi-Slav, because I played a semi-Slav, so I mean, if I get into a semi-Slav, at least I know the opening. So yeah, if you play d4, I'm pretty happy, I have no problems. But I also knew that if you play knight on f3 and c4, you might not want to play d4 and you might play something different. And in fact, my opponent played b3. And now we're exposed into an English opening. It's called the Agincourt defense. Computer is saying this is imprecise. That's theory. Okay, that's theory. This move has been played a lot of time. Maybe it's different to the move order, but that's theory. Now computer is really suggesting to play d4. And again, I'm not going to play d4 at least now, because I'm not sure about what I'm supposed to do. Also, the purpose of this move is that if I play d4, you just play bishop on b2 and this pawn just becomes a target. You could also play e3 in the future, so I need to be a bit careful. So instead of playing d4, I just decided to go for c5, which is saying is imprecise again, because I should have played d4. Now c5 makes sense. I'm risking a bit because it's not a semi-Slav structure, but I think it is pretty logical. I decided to play c5 because my plan is actually pretty simple. I thought it was pretty hard for me to go wrong, at least in the first moves. After c5, my plan is just playing d4. Maybe I can prepare it a bit more by playing knight on c6, for example, and if I can play d4 successfully, I just have more space. And zero problems, because my pieces make sense, I have space, life is good. So yeah, this was the point of c5. Also, again, if this is the square for the knight. And he played g3. Now, after he played g3, I thought this move wasn't good. And it's not good because, again, you allow d4, and this time you allow d4, but he is even stronger because he's supported by the pawn. And you're not really trying to fight for the space. Okay, I get it. You're trying to fight for the space from the distance. It is a modern opening. This move is actually being played at title level, but I thought it wasn't really good. Now I play knight on c6 to reinforce this move again. And he played bishop on g2. And now I can play d4 or knight on f6. At this point, I mean, I played my last moves in order to play d4. I don't want to waste time and I play d4. The point is that if I play knight on f6, well, probably you can play this. Knight on f6, can you play d4? No, apparently not. I guess because after knight take I have e5? No. So what is the point? Oh, because I'm not supposed to take? Oh, I can take this way. Oh yeah, and then... Okay, I get it. But yeah, instead of doing that, I just decided to play d4. I have a lot of space, as I said. This bishop is not so scary. I mean, if you move the knight and somehow you manage to take my knight, is still defended. My plan, again, is simple. Is knight on f6, bishop on d6, castle, and probably bishop on d7, supporting the knight. I don't want to play b6, because if I play b6, he might have some tactic, actually, in order to take the knight. So my opponent just decided to castle, knight on f6, really simple, d3. Now, I was surprised by the move d3, like, he's trying to close the position. But closing the position is not going to benefit him, I believe. I mean, your setup is based on two fianchetto bishop. I guess you want to fianchetto this bishop too. So if you close the position, we have a closed position. But if you're trying to play with your bishop in this way, I mean, bishop works much better in open position, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. You are going against your plan, basically. I guess at this point you want to change it, and instead of playing bishop on b2, you want to pin my knight, for example. Although I play the move bishop on d6, which is clever because, first of all, you can't play bishop on f4. If you do that, I mean, I take, and this pawn is just a weakness. Your king side is weaker. Doesn't make any sense. And if you go for this, okay, you pin my knight, what about h6? You cannot play bishop on h4 because it's trapped. So, you have two options, going back, which doesn't make any sense. And I mean, after that you gave me a free move, I can castle, I already played h6, thank you so much. Or you just have to take the knight, after that I take with the queen and life is good, I have zero problems. So, instead of doing that, after I play bishop on d6, he decided to play bishop on b2. Now, Stockfish doesn't like it, I also don't like this move. For a simple fact, again, you just blocked your own bishop by playing the move e3. So yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense. Instead of playing e3, maybe you add, oh sorry, d3. Instead of playing d3, maybe you add e3. And something like take, I don't know, and you will figure it out. At least you open something, but this way, yeah, don't like. And I just decided to castle and he played e3, with the logic that now he's going to open the position, but it's too late, waste too much time, and now I can play the move e5, and if you can play d4 and d5 successfully as black, you know for a fact that you are better. You have to be better, I mean, I have a space advantage, and no problems. Now, if you try to block everything and you play e4, you block this bishop, and you block this bishop too, and guess what? I have two knights that are definitely stronger, and the plan now, oh, it says king on h8. I guess you want to play rook on g8 and push, which makes sense, but you could also play bishop on g4, and I guess after bishop on g4 and they play this, you can give away your bishop, or just go back. Because now you create a new weakness and maybe bishop on d7? Yeah, makes sense. Black is definitely better. Because I'm not really playing on my bishop. Let's say I'm playing more with my knights. You just waste a lot of moves in order to make this bishop better, but now are just really, really bad. Yeah, I didn't play this move though, because he didn't play this, and he just decided to take. Which makes sense, but again, after I take this way, this bishop is bad, this bishop might be good. Black is better, definitely. And now I play the move knight on d2, which is kind of wild. I mean, instead of doing that, first of all, yeah, you have knight on 8d, which I thought it was actually annoying. But you might also develop the queen on c2 first and then play knight on d2. After you do that, this pawn is undefended, so I can play bishop on f5, and now you have a lot of problems. It's not easy to defend this pawn. Like, you cannot move this knight. You could bring the knight back. Like, thank you, that's a brilliant move. Stockfish is suggesting queen on b1. Yes, I saw this move. Although after queen on b1, I also have these. Or just knight on e4. Yeah, knight on e4. Well, okay. Although I probably have something good. And instead of doing that, I just decided to play this move. Now, I knew for the fact that this was bad. And that's bad. That's really bad. Although, I didn't have a clear plan. Honestly. Because again, if I play something like knight on b4, I can defend. So I know for the fact that I'm better, my pieces are much better than his, but I don't really know how. Now he's saying queen on e7. But why? Also I didn't like the fact that he could take my knight. Probably he doesn't really want to, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, because I take and now you have a lot of pressure. Yeah, you don't really want to take my knight. So I miscalculated the position, and it's not miscalculated, I didn't understand the position pretty well. And instead of playing this, I played queen on d7. The difference is that I'm not controlling the file, I guess. Although the point is that I'm defending the knight, so if you take, I want to take with the queen, with that of bishop on h3. This was my point, although I gave away all the advantage if we play knight on e4. He played h3 because he was scared about this. But he forgot that I can attack the pawn even this way. Although it's not the best move again, I should have played just rook on e8 then to take control of the file, which is logical. Yeah, knight on e4. The problem is that he has knight on e4. Like I played knight on e5, he has knight on e4, and everything is defended, so my plan doesn't really work. So that's why I should just take control of the file and claim that I have a better position with more space. Yeah. Knight on f3. Now I have 2 or 3 options. I could bring the knight back, or I could take. I decided to take, but now that I think about it, this knight just gets better for no reason. If I go back instead, like, what is this? What is this knight? It's actually horrible. And I have a lot of pieces on the king side, so yeah. It was good, I guess. I decided to take knight take. And I played rook on b8. The point of rook on b8 is that this bishop now is threatening absolutely nothing, because I move the rook is not under attack, and I can play the move b5 in the future. And I thought b5 was pretty strong, because if I can open everything, first of all, you cannot take this way because I win the bishop, and if you take this way, I just have a pass pawn. So it has to be a strong move. In fact, completely suggesting to play b5, and you know, you have less problems. I guess I'm going to play b6 after that. My opponent played a4, which is still logical, but after I play a6, I'm still going for this. Rook on e1 and b5. Now he's saying b5 is not good. After c take, and I take? Why is this not good? Yeah, because they have the move a5. I saw this and I thought that after I play b4, this pawn is just a target and I'm going to win it. Knight on e5. So what? You're going to lose this pawn. Oh, knight on c4. And what if I take and play this? Okay, I'm bad. I'm bad. I didn't see this. Although, also my opponent didn't. And he played the move Queen on D2. Now, Queen on D2 is a blunder, and it's pretty simple to see why. Because after they take, again, if you take this way, I have pass pawn. And if you take this way, I just have rook on B3. And good luck defending this pawn. He played rook on A3. And now I had the winning move, which was rook f on b8. The point is that if you take, well, I still win this pawn in the next move. And if it doesn't, let's say you had to move the bishop. I guess just take. Or just bishop take on d3, yeah. You could also play this, for example, and then put the other rook on b3 and I win the pawn anyway. So yeah, it wasn't hard to see. Somehow I missed this idea. But yeah, I'm greedy, and I saw a way to win a pawn, although I misunderstood the position pretty badly, because after I take bishop take and queen take on a4, I risk to that I'm up a pawn, but I missed knight takes d4. If knight takes d4, I can move the bishop, but if I take just bishop take and we have the same pawns, you know, I really miss this tactic. I don't know how. First game, you know. But yeah, my opponent missed that. I played queen on b3, missing this tactic again. And now, oh, no, he didn't see that. Yeah, this move is... He like playing passive stuff. Like, from his opening, I can tell. I can tell. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And I played h6. Because, you know, I have zero problems in this position. And if I play h6, you know, I can just run away with the king. Although, finally, he saw this move. And there is a problem. After all this happened, well, we had the same pawns. Okay. This is going to fall. And this is probably going to fall. This position is winning for white. That's why this game was a roller coaster. And it's not the end. It's not the end at all. Rook on a8. The point is that my rook was under attack. I defend the pawn. And after you play this, I pray. I mean, I saw this move, but it's not... I mean, you cannot stop this. You cannot stop this. Now he's saying a5. I mean, it's basically saying you just lose the pawn and yeah, that's it. And you pray your opponent has to pass pawn. I decided to play queen on b6 instead, with the point that after you play queen on f4, which is a really logical move that wins a pawn, this just wins a pawn by force, I play queen on e6. Now this looks stupid, this maneuver. Although, after you take, with the queen, let's say, well, I have this idea, this might come, I cannot play this now, I have this idea. I mean, obviously you are winning, but it's not so easy, you had to find the right moves. And now I played a sort of bluff, as Ian did in the World Championship. I played knight on g4. I knew this was a bad move. Although, after bishop take, I have these. Although, I guess he has... Oh, bishop take? What? What? What is this? Alright, so... It's losing if your opponent used stockfish. But he was scared about this. And so he decided to play bishop on f4 instead because it was under attack. Which is a mistake, but it's still +4, it's still +4. Although the point of knight on g4 is that now I might have sent that. I might. You never know. Of course, since the position is lost, and I know that for a fact, I need to be quite aggressive and try to make my opponent miss. If I play passively, I mean, my opponent just pushed the pawns or maybe played pieces and it's over. So for this reason, I just decided to play g5. And g5 makes sense, because after you move the bishop, I have more space on the king side, so I might push the pawns and I might create some like that. Also, it depends where you put your bishop, because they decided to play bishop on e3. Now, I knew this move was bad, because I've just given me a target. It doesn't make any sense. You can just play bishop on d2 and then play this. But yeah, I don't know why I play this. I mean, at this point we both have... No, I mean, at this point he has like 2 minutes. And I have 15, 20, something like that. But yeah, he's down in time, so I'm also playing on that. Obviously, I'm thinking about my moves, but I still hoping he's going to make a mistake because he doesn't have time. So rook on e8, I'm just targeting the bishop. That was my point, and he decided to go back. This loses most of your advantage. Instead of doing that, I guess. Can you play this? You are pinning the bishop. Because, I mean, you cannot move the bishop, you lose the rook, although you still have bishop on d2. Now that I think about it, so yeah, maybe it wasn't terrible. After this, first of all I play knight on e5, only move to survive this position. The point of knight e5 is that I'm threatening a fork. That's it. And you need to do something about it. Queen on e3. And now I can take on d3. Oh, because take, bishop take, bishop take. So winning a pawn. I decided to be clicky. And I missed that, by the way. But I decided to be clicky. So this move allow me to play any discovery I want. This move just defends the rook. You cannot take the knight because it's defended by the rook. So he has some problems. After he played this, that's a blunder. And why is this a blunder? Because I have bishop on g4, renewing this threat. I didn't see that, although it makes sense. Instead of doing that, I played the move that I thought he missed, and he probably did. And this move is rook on e6. What is the point of rook e6? Again, if I move the knight, there is a queen behind that. And the Stockfish is actually suggesting to take. You take, rook take. Is queen and bishop against a rook and 2 bishops. If you don't have time, you don't play this, because you lose. There is no way you survive. The queen is a really tricky piece. It's kind of pointless to do that. And he played bishop on g2 instead. And finally, the time pressure paid off, because this move is a mistake. I saw this in a second that it was a mistake, and in a second I played knight takes on d3. Obviously, this was just a blunder. If you take now, I mean, you just lose a queen for no reason. Your queen is under attack and your rook is under attack too. Queen on f3. Knight take. And what I was saying, this game, guys, is a roller coaster. I passed from being like +6 to -7, -8. That's beautiful. After knight take, if you take, I could take the bishop, although I didn't do that because I'm dumb. And I decided to take this bishop instead. Although, as you can see, I'm up a full rook. Same pawns, I'm up a full rook. Now, this might be tricky, because it is a pass pawn, though I also have a pass pawn, and I'm up a full rook again. Now, bishop on d5. The only move to have an incredible advantage is queen on e2. And I played queen on e2. I played queen on e2 because I know for the fact that, okay, I'm going to lose in this exchange. But I still up a piece. I'm not going to lose this. I mean, I'm going to win this, of course. And he played h4. Going to be tricky. And I played the most vertical move. I mean, just queen on e5. It's not the best, but you had to play it, and if you play pieces, you know, you just have a queen. I know that the queen is tricky, but I just have to see one piece. It's not going to be too hard for me to play, and after this check is like minus 14, as you can see. And now I played another great move, which is g4. g4 is sort of a cold-blooded move. Looks like you are weakening the kingside, although he has nothing. This does absolutely nothing. And the point of this is that I'm planting the knight on f3, and my threat is playing queen on e1, and you get checkmated. Your king is not getting away. If you play this, you get mated in 2 moves. So you need to do something about that. He decided to give me a check, but after the king moves, you cannot stop this. The beautiful thing about this position is that he has 0 checks. 0 checks left. This knight is the monster. It covers this and this. And this. So you cannot give me a check. I thought the only move was queen d1, which he played. You also have queen on a5, which still loses, obviously. Queen on a5 again still defends this, because otherwise it's just force mate. Now, I could play queen on e4, a computer move. I can play the move that wins on the spot. Okay, I'm not minus 60 now, I'm just minus 8. This wins on the spot, minus 10. You have to take. I'm threatening mate. If you move the queen, it's mate. You have to take. Take, take. Guess who wins this endgame? I know it's not the best move, but guess who wins this endgame? I'm not going to blunder these. I'm up a full piece. Just a full piece. King on e2. I'm bringing the king into the middle. And now I saw a really practical move again. I just want to win it the simplest way possible. This pawn is the only tricky thing he has. If he can somehow push it, he might have something. So if I win the pawn, doesn't have it. He has nothing. And this move was the game. Because if you take, and by the way, at this point he resigned, but if you take, first of all, I play king on e5, just gaining space. If you go back, and by the way, if you push, I push. So I don't care. If you push this, I just win. I just win the pawn. If you go back, a5, stop it. h5, okay, stop the pawn. You have to stop it. Let's say king c4. Stop this. You can't. Like, in the time that you win the pawn, I just win everything. Obviously, is dead lost. So for this reason, my opponent resigned. What can I say about this game? It was, like, till a certain point, it was a great game. Like, great pressure. I outplayed my opponent in the middle game. I missed the winning moves, and that's one of my weakness. I'm bad at finding like the winning move. I need to improve on that. Although I'm a tricky guy, so if I'm under some pressure and if I'm losing, I can get back. And that's a really good thing because, you know, it means that I can win even if my position is dead lost, which is beautiful to know. But yeah, I won this game. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and hopefully I'm going to play next games better. So that's it for today, guys, and see you in the next video.